Hi everyone, welcome to my tutorial series on building a complete blog application from scratch. In this project, we will be using Angular for the front end and Spring Boot for the back end. I'm going to show an overview of my blog application project. First, I will run the Spring Boot backend. I'm using Intel JI. So I will just click on the green run button. Once the backend is running successfully, I will move to the front end. Okay, it is running. Okay, fine, there are no errors. Okay, I will move to the front end. I will open the terminal and type ngserve. This will start the Angular application. It will usually run on this local host, this, and then we follow the link. Now, this is our home page of our blog application project. Here you can see that blog. Okay, to create your blog, you can go to this and fill this form, name, title, photo URL, and the blog description. Okay, I'm filling it. Okay, welcome. Sorry. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, we have submitted. So it is added here. Now welcome. Okay, view more. Here we have like button and comment. Okay, nice. There it is. If you want to delete that, you can delete. Wow. And delete. Okay. Okay, this is our overview. Here home button. Okay, view authors. Add block is there. First, I'm creating a main folder where I will keep both front-end and back-end project. Okay. So I will go to the path and then I type cmd in the path bar and press enter. That will open a command prompt inside that file folder location. Now to create an Angular front-end project, I am using this command ng new blog website. After this, I will ask for some options. Okay, CSS, yes. And just I choose enter few times. Okay, now our project is generated. It sometimes it may take some time. Okay. Now once it's done, I go inside that folder using cd blog website. Okay, wait. Cd blog website. Then I need to open it in VS Code. It can be done by just try type code paste that. So it will open directly in VS Code. Okay, here it is. Okay. Now our Angular project is ready and opened in Visual Studio Code. From here, we can start working on our front end. Next, let's set up our Spring Boot backend project. First, I'm going to Google and search for Spring Initializer. You can also go directly start.spring.io. Here I'm choosing, okay, wait. Here I'm choosing language as Java, version 3.45. And in the artifact field, I'm typing my project name, blog app. Okay. T1. Okay. Now we are adding dependencies. Lombok. and then Spring Web. Okay, MySQL driver, and the last one Spring Data JPA. Okay, we have added our dependencies. Now I'm generating it. A zip will be a zip file will be downloaded. I'll open that zip file and then extract it. When extracting, make sure you put the project inside the main folder we have already created, where our front-end project is also located. That way, both front-end and back-end will be neatly organized in one place. Once extracted, we can open back-end project in IntelliJ. Okay, here is package. Right click on that, go to new package and create the following packages. That is, first of all, we are creating model, now controller, then service, and then repository. Okay, repository. Okay, now let's start creating classes. First, we are creating a class named block controller inside controller. Okay, and then double click on the model package, new Java class, author model. Again repeat it and create a comment model. Okay, then inside the service package, we are creating two service classes, author service, another one is comment service. Okay, and then inside the repository package, we are creating two interfaces, not class interface. Don't forget author repository interface and another one comment repository. That is also a interface. Okay, interface comment repository. Or okay, comment repository. And then go to src main resource folder and open application properties file. In that file, we are going to type Spring Data Source Driver. This line tells SpringBoot to use the MySQL JDBC driver to connect to the database. Okay, com.sql .cj .jdbc .driver. And the next line here, this is the URL for our MySQL database. Here you have to write your schema name. Wait. Okay, here it is the URL, localhost 3306 and your schema name. Okay, my schema name is, okay, let's keep blog. Okay, just write blog. This is the schema name. It is the name of the database we created in our MySQL. Now, here we are writing, typing our username, that is SQL, our SQL username and our SQL password. And then, okay, data source start password. Now, next, spring.jpa show SQL equal to okay. This line tells the Spring Boot to show the SQL queries in the console while the application is running. It is very helpful for debugging and understanding what's happening in the background. Okay, the next line, this very important line. Here, the update means if the table does not exist, Spring Boot will create it. And if the structure changes, it will automatically update the table based on our model class. So the update means it is. And then the last line tells Spring Boot to use the MySQL 8 dialect, which is a translator to convert Hibernate queries into MySQL specific syntax. Okay, that's it. These lines are all we needed to connect our backend with MySQL using Spring Boot. Here, Taylor. Once we finish this, we can jump into the code. In the next part, we will define our entity classes using annotations like entity, ID, and set up the relationships. Okay. I will start building the backend from the model class, uh, then repository and service, and finally the controller, which exposes the APIs that the front end will call. Okay. Okay, first we model class. In the model class, we have opened author model. I have added the entity annotation. This tells Spring Boot to treat this class as a database table. And then the data annotation from Lombard automatically creates getters, setters. Okay, then the okay, ID. Actually, the annotation ID specifies the primary key. Okay, the annotation generated value will automatically generate the ID value when a new blog is added. The ID is the private long ID is the primary key for the table. Okay. Private string name, then title, string title, name, title, photo URL. We are going to. These fields are used to store the author's name, the blog title, and image URL. Mm, Then I have added a likes field to store the number of likes of a blog post has. It starts with 0 and increases when the like button is clicked. So nullable is equal to false means this field can be left empty. Okay, okay, we have used this LOB and column definition well to mm, long long text. This is the blog content or description. I have used uh, LOB and long text so that even long content can be stored properly in MySQL. Okay, description. Okay, now this line defines a one-to-many relationship with the comment model. One blog post can have many comments. So we have used one to many. One refers to one blog can have many comments so that many relationship. Then mapped by author means the mapping is controlled by from the other side. Cascade equal to all saves and deletes comments along with the blog post. Orphan removal equal to true means if a comment is removed from the list, it will be deleted from the database. JSON managed reference is used to prevent infinite loops when converting JSON. Okay, and is the list. Okay, okay, public author model. Now we are defining a default constructor, and then here is a parameterized constructor to create a blog post easily. Okay, a string name, string title, string photo URL, and then string description. Okay, mm, this dot name equal to name. It will get the name and store into the name. Same like title, photo URL, and the description. Once it's once it done, that's it. This is our author model class. It is the main table that stores the blog details. That is name, title, content, photo URL. Okay. Okay, now then let's look at the command model. Okay, we have defining at the rate of data annotation from Lombok helps to automatically create getters centers as like I said in author model. Then the same ID This is the primary key for the comment table. SpringBoot will automatically generate this ID value. Private long ID. Private string content. This field stores the actual comment text entered by the user. Annotation here at the rate of many to one. In author model, we have used one to many. Here we are using many to one because many comments can belong to one post. That is author. Join column creates a foreign key column in a comment table called author ID, which links this comment to a specific blog. Nullable equal to false means this comment must be linked to a blog. It cannot be left empty. It must be linked to a blog. So, and then JSON back reference, it is used to prevent circular references when converting the response to JSON. And then we will be defining a default constructor comment model of it is default constructor. And now this is the constructor with parameters, string content and that. This constructor helps to create a new command by passing the text and the blog it belongs to. Here author model, author, this content equal to content. This dot author equal to author. So this is our command model and it connects to the blog using proper relationship. Okay, then now here we are in the repository, author repository. It is the interface. This interface is used to perform database operations for the blog. I have used repository to tell SpringBoot that this is a repository layer. So this interface extends JPA repository which provides built-in methods. Actually, repository consists of some methods that are built-in. Save off, find by ID, find all, delete by ID. These are some of the functions. Okay. Here we are writing the model name and the primary key of the model. It is long. The data type of the primary key is long. So we have written that. And now here we are using ls find I have added a custom method here, find by author ID. This method will return all the comments that belong to a specific blog using the blog's ID. SpringBoot will understand this based on the method name. Okay, now let's look at the author service class. This class is the business logic layer. It connects the controller to the repository and handles operations for blog post. Okay. I have used at the rate of service to tell Spring that this class is a service layer component. At the rate of AutoWired, I have used at the rate of AutoWired to inject the author repository. So I can use its method to talk to the database. I have injected author repository. Now here I'm this method returns a list of all blog posts using the find all method. Now we will here declare our find all method. Get all authors. Oh, sorry. Return author repository. Okay. Okay, here is find all method. Okay, now public optional. Now I am writing this method to get a single blog post by its ID. It returns an optional in case of ID does not exist. If the ID doesn't exist, then it returns optional. Okay. Get author by ID. Return author repository. Here we are getting the blog post by its ID. So we are writing ID. Next, another method. Author model. Author. Okay. Now, actually, this is a shortcut method to directly save an author model object. Okay. Save of. No. Save author. Author. Save author. Okay. Now, this method, now we are writing a method for the like button. First, it gets the blog post using its ID. If found, it increases the like count by 1 and saves the updated data back to the database. Okay. Long author ID. Author model author, sorry. Author equal to author repository. Find all. Find by ID. Author ID. Here I'm. If it makes an error, we have to clear it for that. or throw throw out this mm, new runtime exception. There it is. Okay. Okay. I'm writing here author not found with ID. There author ID. So I'm concatenating it plus a author ID. A author set like author dot get likes of plus 1 because the like increases by count 1. So plus 1 and then return author repository dot save of author author. Okay, here what 0. Okay. Oh, now let's go to command service as same like service. Auto add automatically injects the command repository. Here the command repository is to manage the command. Now auto-wire private author repository. Author repository is to check which blog post the command belongs to. So I am injecting it. Now public comment model add comment. We are going to add comment using the author ID and the content, some of the content. So this method adds a new comment. First we will find the blog post by its ID and then author model. Okay. Optional author. Not author model. Optional. Okay, sorry. Author repository. Find by ID. Author ID. Okay. Now if the blog post does exist, we create new command model object by passing the content and blog post. Then we save it using the command repository. So if here optional author is present of if it exists, we create new comment. So command model comment equal to new command model. And then content optional author dot get off. Now it will return a command repository dot save of comment. Sorry, save comment. Okay. Here, then if the blog post doesn't exist, we throw an error. As like before, throw new runtime exception where I'm typing author not found with ID, that particular ID. So author not found with, sorry, W ID author ID. Okay. Now let's look at the blog controller class. This is our main controller that handles all the API endpoints for blog post and comments. Okay. I have used @REST controller to make this a REST API controller. Cross origin of star allows request from any front end, so it is useful during development. Request mapping of /API sets a common prefix for all routes. Okay. Now private final. I'm creating two service objects, one for handling the authors and one for the comments. Okay, wait. Private final author service. Now private final comment service, comment service. Now controller author service. I'm using constructor based injection to connect the services to the controller. So this author service equal to author service, and then this author, no, sorry, this comment service equal to comment service. Now I am going to write get mapping get mapping of /authors. Authors. This endpoint fetches all blog posts using the service. Okay, list author model. We are getting all the authors, right? So I'm authors service author model, get all authors. Authors. Okay. Return author service dot get all authors. Okay. Now another get mapping. This get mapping gets a single block by its ID. Okay. The previous get mapping gets all the authors. Now this get mapping gets a single block. It is single author, single post, whatever it is. Okay. optional author model. We are going to get the single blog post by its ID. So I'm declaring path variable ID. ID, the data type of the ID is long, so long ID. Now return author service dot enter dot get author by ID. Right. Yeah, ID. Now here post mapping by author. This is for posting. That is, this adds a new blog post using query parameter. Okay. So that I'm using author model create author sorry author with query your params. Then here at the rate of request param, we are going to declare the name, title, what photo URL, and then the description. So I'm writing string name next at the rate of request param string title request param string photo URL. Request param string sorry string right and then finally description. Now here return author service dot add author of new author model name and then the name title photo URL and the description. Okay, actually the data comes from the front end and is saved using this service. Okay, these are the data comes from the front end. Okay, now at the rate of get mapping. Okay, now we are writing this get mapping for fetching all the comments for a specific blog post. Here author ID, and then comment. This is for the comment. Okay. Get commands. Path variable. Path variable. Sorry. Path variable. Long author ID. Now return command service dot get command. We are going to get the commands by the author ID. So get commands by author ID of author ID. I'm creating the method. Sorry, I have forgot. Okay, for the command return comment repository dot wait. Okay, find by author ID. Author ID. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. Okay. Now it is fine. Post mapping for posting the comment. This adds a comment to the blog. The content comes from the front end through the request body. Okay, here comment. Okay. Public comment model. Add comment using the path variable. Path variable. Long author ID. In the request body, comment module, comment. We are going to use request body, not path variable. Request body. Okay. Comment model, the comment. Get the content comes from the front end through this request body. Okay. Okay, now it will return comment service at comment of author ID and comment dot get that content. So we are getting the content. Get comment content. Okay. Now for the like button, put mapping. Author ID and the like. Okay. Author ID. Okay, like public author model. Okay, like author. Sorry. A author. Sorry. Of path variable. At the rate of path variable long author ID. Okay. Okay, now return author 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 surface dot like author by author ID. Oh, oh my god. Okay. Okay, this increases the like count for the selected block. Now for the delete mapping, comment. For deleting the comment, we are writing this. It deletes the comment by its ID. Comment ID. Public, we are using void, so there will be no return. But void delete comment at the rate of path variable a long ID. Comment service dot delete comment of. Actually, I have not declared delete comment of in the where delete service. So I'm creating a method in the comment service. Sorry, delete service, not comment service. Now void delete comment repository. Okay. Delete by ID. Okay. Oh, sorry. Mm, wait. No. Think so. ID. Mm, no, it will be ID. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I have not tasted ID. Okay. I'm going to my SQL. Now I'm creating a schema. To create a schema, blog apply, finish. Okay. Now use blog. Okay, run it. Okay. I think so. It is enough for now. Okay. Now I am running my SpringBoot backend. Okay, it is running. Okay. Okay, there are no errors. Okay. Now that's it for the backend. The backend of the project is now completed. We have built all the necessary APIs to handle the blog post, likes, and comments using Spring Boot. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to our front-end part. Okay, I'm opening my AngularJS folder by clicking on its path, CMD. Okay, now code space dot. Okay, now I'm open my folder in VS Code. Okay, first Open terminal and type npm I bootstrap. So I'm installing my bootstrap. Okay, bootstrap is installed in our project. Now open Angular JSON file in 29th line, I think so. Style. In the style part, copy that line. This makes Bootstrap styles available throughout the app. Next, in the same file, under the asset session, around 23rd line, I added src/assets. This allows AngularJS to access any images or files placed in that assets folder. Then go to index.html. Now then right click on the app, create a new folder, blocks, and then right click on the blocks. There's option open in integrated terminal. Go to the terminal and create component. So ng generate, C means component, generate component, create block. Now I'm creating a component called create block. Okay, it is there. You can see HTML file and the TS file. Now, okay. Okay, I'm first of all running the ng serve. Now it will open our project in the browser. Okay, this is our project is running. It is by default, it will be there. Okay, I'm deleting this. Now, okay, I'm creating another component named ng generate component view blocks. Okay, the component is generated. Now another component name author. And another one name home. It is, we can use home as an index page. So I'm creating home. Now, okay, create block, home, and view blocks. Okay. Now I'm moving to app.config.ts. I'm adding provide HTTP client of in the providers array. It enables HTTP communication in Angular. Without this line, I cannot make HTTP requests like get, post, delete, or put. Okay. Now in the app.roots.ts, I am defining the path for the components we have created. So here we will define all of our root paths in the app. First, I am creating the path for create block. We have generated 4 components. So we need to type 4 path. Create block and then author, home, and view blocks. So path, view block. Component. a view block, then path, home, component. Okay, and now I am declaring the path as empty and then redirect to is home. If the user visits just a slash, this route redirect them to the slash home page. Path match full means I'm here denoting as full. It means the whole URL must match for redirect to happen. Okay. Sorry, I have okay. Okay. HTML. Okay. This is my app.component.html file where I created the main navigation bar for my blog application. So here the nav class. This line creates a nav tag with a custom class name navbar1. It acts as the top bar navigation for my app. Now inside the nav tag, I added a bootstrap class container fluid dflex to make the contents inside flexible and responsive. Then I created a brand name link using anchor tag. It shows blognet in bold using the strong tag. I will be using strong tag so that it shows blognet. Blognet is actually the name of the blog application. So here I'm using anchor tag and then I'm using strong tag. This represents the name of the website, blognet. So blog. Next, I'm creating a div with a class search to group all the menus linked together. Search. Okay. This is my first navigation link. When I click this, it takes me to the home page so that I'm giving in the href/home. So it will take me to the home page. And then the second link, which takes us to the page that shows all the authors and their blogs. View all authors. So view blogs. We have created a component called view blog. So this link will take us to the view blog component. And another link goes to the, we are going to create another link. Name class name. Saraf slash create block. So by clicking on this link, we will go to we can create a new blog. Now, now we are typing router outlet. It is a placeholder where Angular will display the component based on the route we click, like home, view, authors, and add blog. Actually, the router outlet is the most important part. Okay, and then you can add your CSS as like you want. I am adding some of the CSS as you can see here. You can design your website as you like. Okay, here blognet, home, view all blocks, add block. Okay, they are working. Okay, now let's go to the create a blog. Create blog. Okay, delete this and type. I'm typing session. Actually, this wraps the whole blog form inside a session. Okay, I'm naming the class full. Okay, then division div acts as a container for the form. In the title class will style this heading. Okay, enter your blog details. Okay, form ID. Okay, I'm assigning an ID to the form. Then when the form is submitted, it triggers the post user. I'm defining a function here. Post user of function that will that I will write in the TypeScript script file. Okay. When the form is submitted, the post user function will work. Okay. Okay, this gives the reference variable to the form so you can access its status if needed. The form is styled using a table layout. Class table. It is the table row. Okay. Then the class label name label for name input. Okay. Enter your name. Then input field, okay. I'm giving type text. It is a name, so it is text. Then ID equal to the same name where I have given for equal to name, ID equal to name, and here name is also equal to name. Secured. It is denoted as secure. That means the field must be filled to submit. If not, we cannot submit the form. It will denote this field is secured, so you have to fill this as like. Then we are using NG model. What is this type of data binding? Two-way data binding. So two-way binds this input to username, user.name in your component. Okay, now I'm going to my create block component.ts TypeScript file. Okay, in the import fields, we are using form module. Why are we using form module? Because we are using two-way data binding. NG model. So we have imported in forms module. Now inside the class, we create a user object with empty fields. When the user types in the form, these values will be updated. This object stores the blog details, okay? So name, title, photo URL, and the description. Then constructor private HTTP. HTTP, it is used to send the post request. HTTP client private enter. After posting, we use this to redirect to another page. So we are giving router. Then here I am creating a function post user. This function is called when the user clicks the submit button. Here the URL, it sends a post request to your SpringBoot backend by the URL. The backend API endpoint for creating the an author. So it is this URL is the backend API endpoint, and then fonts params. We attach the form data, that is name, title, photo URL, description as the query parameters. Okay, params set that name. Sorry, okay. Name this user dot name. Okay, like that. Set title this user dot set photo URL. If photo URL this dot user dot photo URL. Sorry, photo URL. I mean, okay. And then again, set description. This dot user dot description. Okay, here enter. Okay. Now this dot HTTP post of the URL. So this line sends the data and then parents, then subscribe of once the data is successfully sent, logs the result, redirect the user to the last page. So that we have to write code for that. Any console is for checking is it working properly, or it is our wish to use console log. Okay, posted successfully. If the program runs correctly, then if you give inspect, we can see there it will print there posted successfully. Okay, this router. Okay, then navigate to the last. Actually, I have not created a last component. Sorry, I forgot. Wait, we'll create it by now. Last last. This last component is for after we have submitted the form. Just it is a page. Okay, you have submitted the form successfully. Your blog have been posted like that. Okay, last. Okay, TS is done. App roads on. I'm adding the path for the new component. What is that? Last component. Last component. Okay. Mm, now I am, came back to the create blog.component.html, and I'm just change the contents of the row. I have copied and changed the contents as title, photo URL, and blog description. And then for the description, I'm changing the input to text area so that we can add more number of characters. Okay, text area. Okay. Now we need a submit button. So I'm creating a division for the submit button. So class name, no need. Button type submit. Okay. Class name I'm giving it as but okay. Submit. Okay. A type submit triggers the submission. Class is for the style. Okay, now we have created the form. So name, title of, okay. Okay, I have styled the create blog as I wanted. So you can do the same, or else you can do as your wish. Okay, I'm defining all the terms text table, table input table, text area, everything. I have style according to my taste. Okay, here button, when the button, when we have hover the button, can use the code. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to add some of the images for our project. I need some background images to make it attractive. For that, okay, here are the images, and first we have to make a folder. Double click on the source file and create a folder assets. And I'm just creating another folder inside it. It's your wish. Images. Now I'm copying all of this into the folder. So first time, okay, BG. Okay, here it is. So can just copy all of them. Wait. It's your wish. Just drag and drop. Okay. Three of them are here. Okay. Now we have our images. Okay, now we are going to write the code for the view blocks. First I'm opening. Okay, delete this. Okay, let's go to TS. Import common module. Common module allows you to use common Angular directors like ng for, ngif. Router module is required when using routing in the component. Okay. User list is used to store the list of authors fetched from the backend. So it will store the list of authors. So user list. Next, constructor. We have declared the constructor and dependency injection. For that, HTTP equal to inject of HTTP client. We are injecting the HTTP client and activated route using the inject of function. Okay. ng on init. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot. Implement on init. It will call automatically when the component loads. The function is called automatically. Okay, on init void. Instead of it, I'm writing this dot get users. When the component loads, it automatically triggers the get users of function to fetch author data. So here we will write the get users function. And this HTTP. It sends a GET request to the backend URL. If the code works, it will assign the received data to the user list. If suppose there is a mistake or error, it will log an error message to the console. So that I'm going to write a console line also. Next, data. Okay. This user list of data. Okay. Just like I said, the error message console dot error failed to fetch users. Okay. And then comma error. Okay. Then I'm going to add image error function. Like if an image fails to load, it shows a default image from the assets. For that, we just want to give something default image, so that if the photo URL, the user gives photo URL, suppose it has some issues, means it will load the default image so that it won't be empty. And here const target event dot as HTML image element target src equal to assets default dot png. So the image name is default dot png. Okay. And okay, this method helps Angular track list items better in ng4. So it improves performance by reducing unnecessary DOM updates. For that, I'm using track return return item ID. Okay. Now we have completed the TS, and then now for the view block HTML, I'm creating a session class full as usual. Then Okay, authors. Okay, so it displays the title authors with some spacing because I'm using a break tag. Now I have created another session, class author. I'm creating a division. Row deflex flex wrap. Bootstrap row layout with deflex flex wrap to wrap cards responsibly. Card means nothing but the page. Justify content start aligns the card to the left. Okay. Here I'm using ng for equal to let item of user list. Then let I equal to index. Then it will track by function. So loops throw each author in user list, and then track by function helps with the efficient DOM rendering. Then the class I'm giving card main. M3 P3 shadow. I'm also giving style with 25 rem. Okay. Each card has margin M3 and padding P3, shadow, fixed width, and rounded corners because of the border radius. And then for displaying the author's photo, I'm using image src item dot photo URL. Otherwise, if item dot photo URL is there, then it will use the photo URL given by the author. Otherwise, it will take the default photo. Default PNG. Then if there is any issues, we need to throw an error. So error of on image error. Okay. Now class I will give card image top. Image should be in the top and rounded circle. So style as a circular image, centered and at the top of the card. So that I'm writing rounded, need to write circle. Okay. Here I will give some of these styles like width, height. The object is need to fit inside the width 100 px and then height 100 px. Object cover. Okay. Okay. I'm creating another division so that it shows the author name, title, and description. And I'm going to use limit text in the CSS to limit text length so that if the description is content is large, it will show a limit. If you want to see the full content, you have to press the view button and see the full content. So I'm going to add a view more button below these name, title, and description. Here I'm using interpolation data binding. So I'm using curly braces, item dot title, item dot description, and then finally the button, view more button. I'm using a button that navigates to the individual's author page using the Angular routing. So I'm passing the ID of the author with the link. So slash author, then item ID, class button view. Okay. Closes all open sessions and revisions properly. Okay, we have closed. Okay, now I'm styling the view blocks component. Where margin padding, full background color, the text limit is there, and then H2 header, okay, everything is there, and then last no, home. Okay, next what where Okay, I'm going to. Okay, let's do home component. Let's take home component. In the home component, I'm creating a session. Class name hero. Okay, let's give hero. Okay, start the hero session. Style by CSS. Insert it. Okay, division. I'm just copying the content. It will display in our home screen. I just copied and pasted here. Okay. Okay. A button inside an anchor tag. When I click it, it navigates the user to the creating the block. So I'm writing the component name create block. So it will navigate to us to create block. Okay, there's a button. Button class. Name of the button is click here to create your block. Okay. Okay. Now I'm creating another button to view the blocks. I'm using break tag to leave some space between them. And I'm using a same anchor tag href slash. It will direct to the view blocks. So I'm writing view blocks and creating a button named pass but name of the button is view block. Okay. Okay, I'm creating another session. We are going to make a small box. Inside that, we have some photo structure. So I'm giving it a port box. Inside that, I'm creating another session name class box. Inside that, I have creating a division class. I'm using Bootstrap here. I'm using Bootstrap padding classes and MB4 means bottom margin, and then rounded means rounded corners. In CSS we can use border radius. Here we can use rounded. And then another division. It restricts the width of the code box to half font, medium to screen. So, and then the contents that are inside the code box, I'm copying it and directly pasting it there. Now I'm just going to copy the view blocks because in the home page we need to see all of the blocks. So I'm just copying all the view blocks content and paste it here in the home component. And also taking the TS, I just copy the TS and paste it in the home sphere text script. So here some of the errors because we didn't type it. So I'm just importing. Okay, add import. Okay, update import. Okay. Okay, now there are no errors. Okay, let's move back to the home component. Okay, in the import common module and router module we have imported. So we have to import the same in the home TS. Common module, router module. Okay, import the add import from reference. Update import. Okay, now let's go to component.html. Okay, it is clear. Okay, I'm adding CSS for the home. Okay, there it is. Everything is pakka. You can just modify your CSS as you wish. Okay, let's just visit the browser and check out our page. How is it? Okay, okay, but I need to change some of it. That is, the image is not there. So what's wrong here means I have copied all the background images inside the assets folder. There is images folder. Inside the images folder only we have pasted the images. So we need to correct the path as images. Now here there are 3 columns. I just want to, so I just randomly, okay, now it's okay. Now it's very good. Okay, everything is fine. Okay, this author component shows an individual author's profile. Okay, so it allows users to view and post comment if you want like the author, and if you need to delete the comments you can delete the comment. So here we have imported common module and forms module. Now implements on in it. Okay, then, and I'm using Angular inject method to use HTTP client and activated root service. So private root inject of, sorry, inject of activated root. Okay, author ID. Here, author ID stores current author's ID from the root. Then user attributes. Here it stores the author details from the API. And then comments list. We need an array to store the comments. So here it is. It is an array. And then the comment content. We need something to hold the value typed in the comment box. So here it is. Comment content string. Now on init. Here on init method extracts ID from the root. Okay, snapshot paramap get off by what? ID. So it is extracting the ID. So we have written ID. Only if the author ID is present, then it will calls the get author and get comments of. So here it is. This author ID. Get comments of this author ID. This author ID. And then we need to get the author data from the backend. So get author ID. Then this HTTP. We are using get method. So get and here enter the localhost, the path. Get author data. Here we are using get method. So it gets the author data from the backend using the ID. So we are declaring API slash author slash dollar symbol and then ID. So it saves the response in the user attribute. For that, here we will write result this attributes result. For saving the response in user attribute, we are using this line. Okay. Suppose if there is any error, we need to know what kind of error it is, where the error is. So I'm using console error to check. Okay. Error fetching author. Okay. Then we need to write a method to get all the comments. Now I'm creating a get comments function so that it will get all the comments to the linked author. It stores all the comments in the comments list. It is an array. So here I am declaring this .http.get any of array, and then I'm writing my HTTP localhost link. Okay, localhost author ID slash comment. Then subscribe of result. So result short form RES, it will write R. Yes, okay. Store the res into the comment list. So okay. Then if there are any issues, we need to know where the issue is raising. So I'm writing a console error. So okay, here error console, here it is expected. Yes. Anyway, console dot error, sorry, error, sorry guys. Okay, error fetching comments. Okay, we have written a function to get all the comments. Now need to write a function to add a comment. So here there are some issues. Wait. Okay. I'm going to write a function for add the current comment, add comment of this line is to check if the comment box isn't empty after trimming. Then const URL that I'm typing the URL. slash API author this dot author ID slash comment. Okay, now body content this new this dot comment content this dot http dot post URL comma body subscribe next. Okay, this method sends the command to the backend and we need to empty the comment list. So it clears input and refreshes the comment list on success. If everything goes correct, it will be a success. Okay. Then I'm writing a error statement. Error posting comment. ARR. Okay. Now for the like button, I'm creating a method called like author. When the method is called, it will control like button clicked. So I'm writing like button clicked. Eh, This is a it sends a put request to increment the like count because it is just modifying the like count, right? We are using put. Okay, like Sorry, subscribe of next update author updated like. Okay. Okay, this user attribute equal to update author. Okay, it may be anything. Okay, same like error message. Error on like error. Okay. Actually, here I have made a mistake. Okay, wait, guys. Okay. Oh, got it. Here, wait. Oh, I have forgot the full stop. Okay. Oh, all right. Uh, delete comment of. So this function sends delete request to remove a specific current and refreshes comment list on success. So as same like URL, give the URL and then HTTP, okay, API comment ID, this HTTP delete URL subscribe of next. Okay. Mm, this dot get sorry, get comments of this author ID. Okay, errors. Okay, error. Console error. Error in delete command. Error. Okay. Now for the if the author's profile image fails to load, it sends to a default image there. So the default image is in the assets folder. So for that, this method is written here. Assets images default dot png. Okay. Okay. Okay, now let's start the author third component. Okay, first a container session with class full, and inside that I'm creating another session, author session. Inside the author session I'm creating division, author card. It displays the card only if user attributes is loaded. ngf ngf is equal to user attributes. Prevents trying to display undefined data. Then h2 author details. That is the heading. Then if the author gives the photo URL correct, then it will use the photo URL. If not, it will show a default image. The error calls the on image error function if the image loading fails. Okay, assets images default.png. Error calls the on image error. Okay, class image author. Now then, okay, this line I'm using interpolation data binding to display the author's name. Then inside a paragraph tag, I'm using strong so that the title will be bold. And again, I'm using interpolation data binding to display the author's title. And once again, I'm using the paragraph tag and interpolation data binding to show the description about the author. Okay, here strong likes. So this will shows the number of likes. In default, it will be 0. Okay, here, here likes. Okay, means 0. Button class like. When the button is clicked, like author of method is called from the TypeScript file. Now I'm create a division for the comment section. Here comments, comments, and then this ngf only shows the list if there is at least one comment. Please 12 comment. Hey, why it is not showing? Oh, sorry guys. Okay, delete. Okay. Okay. This unordered list will loops through all the comments, displays each comment content and a delete button. Delete button calls delete of comment with the comments ID. Mm, okay. Comment and dot content. Okay, here I'm giving the delete button. So the comment contents and the delete button. Okay. Okay, button. Okay. ng template shown if there are no comments. If there are no comments, then no comments it will show in the answer. Okay, this is for adding the comment. Okay, add comment. Input type text. Here we are using two-way data binding. Comment content. And inside the placeholder, write a comment. Okay, and there is a submit button to submit the comment. So when the button is clicked, add comment function works. Okay, submit. Okay, now I'm going to author CSS. Okay, here the CSS of the author component. Okay, now for the last component HTML, I'm clearing this. So here I'm just copied and pasted. Here, here there is a GIF file that is a tick, and it will show us congratulations, you have successfully created your blog profile. And there is a button in the center. It will direct us to the view post. That is, sorry, it is view blogs. And then in the last component, TS file, I'm adding the GIF and forms module. I'm importing the forms module. Okay. Now I am giving the CSS for it. A button, hover, author, create blog. Okay, last. Everything is fine. Now I'm going to the website. Okay. Okay. Here in the box is somewhat in the up top. So we need to the image is not there because of the folder name. We have given images. Now the top of the box. So I'm adding break tag beer beer beer. I'm adding 3 break tags. So now it's okay. Okay. To change the fave icon of our project, I'm going to public their fave icon. There is a fave icon. The Angular default fave icon is there. So I'm just copy and pasting my logo here, and I'm going to index.html and see here link relation icon. In that, change logo dot, that is that jpg. Okay, now go to our website. Here it is. Okay, now our save icon is changed. Okay, click here to create block. Oh wait, we need to run our application before posting the blog. So it is running. Okay, there are no errors. So we can move back to our front end. Here, okay, rows, pretty rows. Okay, submit. Congratulations, you have successfully submitted. Okay, now here it is. View more. Why it is not working? Uh, here, sorry, view blog, author, here it is. Ah, okay. In the app dot routes, we need to declare the path, author, ID. I think so. Slash colon. Wait, let me check. Let me check. Oh, it is not working. Okay, come back. After this slash, we have to keep the colon. Okay. Okay. Now it is working. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Comment. Right. Okay. It is deleting. Okay. Perfect. Now, now after adding some more post, here our website is view more. Okay. Kalabadi. Okay. So we have completed our. Thank you for watching. With this, our blog application project is completed. We can definitely enhance it further, like adding a login page, authentication, and more features. But for now, this is perfect for learning purpose. Don't just watch the video, try it out practically. That's the real way to learn. Thank you once again for your time. And if you have watched this video till the end, then trust me, you are superb. Keep learning and keep coding.